Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel. As you can see in front of me, I am going to be working on making some poinsettias. This is the one that I'm going to be sharing with you how I made today. And this is using 110-pound cardstock in, I think it's called Dove. It's kind of like a creamy white color cardstock, and I'm using the cardstock from Michaels. The green leaves are made using basil cardstock. And the die set I'm using is the Sizzix die. And it's a very good size poinsettia flower. And I have some already made into colors too. So here's the one that I'm going to be making today. And then I also made them, and this one has a silver center. And then I have one in a pink color and a really pretty pearlescent center on that one. And then a traditional red with the gold center. I made 4 of each of these, and these will be available in my Etsy shop. And for the measurement, let me get a ruler out here. The flower itself is going to be approximately, we're just going to say 4 inches because I have bent up the tips. And then from tip to tip on the green leaves, it's about 3 3/4. So this way it's about 4.5 with the leaf from the green leaf to that side. So that's roughly the size. Now they're going to vary because each one of these was made individually. And so they're going to be approximately 4.5 inches at the widest point. This is one I just put together. It's got 4 layers of the white petals, and then the leaves are on the back. And on the back side, I finished off with a circle punch that I punched out and glued. I probably should have put the leaves underneath there just to give it a more clean look, but since it's the back side, no one's going to see it. So that's what we're going to make today. So I went ahead and cut out the layers that I'll need to make one flower, and I have 2 leaves. These came with the die set. I'll show you. Here's the dies you get in the set. And I cut 2 of the leaves out. I actually just layered my paper up and I ran it through my die cutting machine twice, and it cut out both layers just fine. Then these, since this is a little bit thicker cardstock, 110-pound cardstock, I only ran 1 layer of paper through at a time. So I had to cut this one out twice, and then these 2 just 1 time. And then for my center, I have my little stamens here. I put 6 stamens in the center, and I'll show you how I put those in. Then I'm going to use the largest ball on my stylus here. And then I also have a little pad so that I can roll my flower paper shapes on there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my largest flower petal and I'm going to turn it over to the back side. And initially I'm just trying to soften the layers of the cardstock just to make it easier to work with and to give it a more realistic look. So I'm just doing it on the back side and rolling it and applying pressure. And you can see that it just kind of breaks up the paper fibers a little bit and gives it a more realistic look. Again, this is on the back side. So I'm just going to repeat and do with all the petals. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I have my screen door open and my neighbor looks like he's trimming his shrubs. It was okay. Hopefully it won't be too loud. And I'm holding my stylus like this because my wrist gets tired after a while and sore. So this just helps me be able to push down on it. Now the pink and the red poinsettias that I made, I used 65-pound cardstock for those. And this one is heavier because I have this color cardstock and I wanted to make this color. So that's why this cardstock is a little bit heavier weight than the pink and the red ones, but they all still look beautiful. This I just have to put a little more muscle into it. I'm also going to soften the middle area a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to go around the center just to soften it up and to shape it a little bit. And then I'm going to go halfway up each petal with my stylus. Maybe someone else has a different technique, I don't know, but this is just the way I'm making these flowers and it seems to be working pretty good. Okay, so there's that one. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the second big flower petal. So I'm just going to continue to do all of these flower petals the same way. And I'll speed this up during this process, and then we're going to be doing some manipulating on the petals after I've done that. So I'm going to turn this over on the back side, do the same thing. And probably we'll just play some music for you while I'm doing this. And if you're crafting along, you can pause the video and do this to your flowers. Okay, so I have all 4 of the flower petals embossed and or whatever you want to call it, softened. And they're all facing up now. Okay, so there's 2 of the larger ones and 1 medium and 1 small. I'm gonna go ahead and start manipulating the flower petals. And I'm just using my pokey tool. If you have something similar to this, you can start using it to bend your petals. If you look at a real poinsettia flower, they kind of have some wild petal. The leaves go in funky directions. So I'm just kind of manipulating them the way I think that they may look on a real flower. As you can see, there's just really no rhyme or reason to it. And doesn't really look like much right now. There's one. Whoops. And I'll do the other one the same. Just be careful not to rip your paper, because I have done that. Just being a little over ambitious with my ripping or with my bending here. And it takes just a little practice. Okay. This is what gives it a homemade touch, is doing this to the flower petals rather than just gluing it down flat. Just makes so much difference. This size flower would be great on a present. If you have a special present you're giving somebody, or on the front of a handmade card, or even on a Christmas tree, or as part of a centerpiece on a table. You could even make a garland, hang it on your fireplace, or put it on a stick and add it to a flower arrangement. Okay, there's that. Then the very center one, just bend that a little bit. No rhyme or reason, just however you feel like bending them. It will look perfectly fine. I'm gonna bring this back in. So I'm gonna start gluing these together. So I'm gonna just put glue right here in the middle. I'm just using my wet glue. You could probably use hot glue for this. I prefer wet glue for most projects. So then I'm going to offset these petals so they're all offset with each other. And then I'm just going to gently tap around just to make sure that it's stuck down really good. Don't go all the way to the petals, just do the center area, like a nice circle, an inch or so in the center. Okay, so then I'm gonna glue this one here, offsetting the petals as much as you can. I'm gonna add the glue on the back of here. Okay. Try to find the center as best as you can. All right, it's looking good. Then I'm going to take the last one, add the glue on the back, just in the center. And offset this one too. Then I'm going to take the smaller of my stylus and push down in the middle. Then it kind of makes it pop up a little bit. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. And that made it pop up just a little, as you can see there. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that dry just like it is. Then I'll shape it a little better. While that's drying, I'm gonna take care of the leaves and my circle that I'm gonna put on the back. So the circle, I'm simply just gonna run my embossing tool around it just to soften it up and to make it easier to manipulate when I glue it on the back. It doesn't have to look pretty or anything. Just using it to cover the stamen stems really is the reason for this. Okay, so that looks good. That's ready to go. It's soft and pliable. So put that aside, and then I'm gonna emboss the leaves. I'm gonna turn them over on the back side. And just like I did the flower petals, I'm just gonna go all along it and kind of soften it up a little. Then I'm going to turn it over, and this is going to be the end that's sticking out, and I'm going to just emboss that a little, just like one time down the middle. And then I'm going to glue, this will be the end that I glue onto the flower. So I'm going to continue that. And the second one, each of the flowers that I made have 2 of these green leaves on the back of them. Okay. Turn it over. All right, and see, they look more realistic that way. So those are ready to go. And now I'm gonna take my flower. I'm gonna take my pokey tool and poke a hole right in the center, and I'm gonna go through all the layers. You'll see I went all the way through, and I'm just making a starter hole for my stamens, and it's not gonna be thick enough for all those flower or the stamens to fit through. So I'm taking a small pair of scissors that I have, and I'm going to use them to make my hole bigger. And I'm just gonna gently twirl it around until I think I have a big enough hole for my stamens to fit in. So I've got 6 stamens here, and I'm going to fold them in half once I get them all even. And then pinch the end, makes it easier to get it through that hole. Okay, then if I made my hole big enough, they should all fit through. Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab them. And I like to push down from the top to try to just, you know, arrange it the way that you like it to look. Then I'm gonna cut off just maybe about 1/3 of the stamens. And then I'm gonna throw this part away, I don't need that. Then you can spread your stamens out on the back here. I'm gonna glue this all down, I'll show you. And then just make sure that your stamens in the front are where you want them. I'm gonna start out by just adding some wet glue all around here. There we go. Okay, then I'm gonna add glue to the inside of this circle that I punched out. Cover the whole thing with glue. I would hold your stamens in place on the front side while you're doing this. So you've got those sort of separated, and we're gonna put this circle down on here and push down on it. Then you'll have to hold this until the glue dries a little bit. And you can refluff your petal layers after you do this. I mean, you don't want to like totally squish them all down, but you definitely will have to hold on to this while this glue is drying. And again, if you want to put the leaves on first and then glue the circle on, you can do that. But I always forget, so I'm doing it this way. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think we're about there. Okay, the only thing left to do is glue the leaves on. And I'm just gonna glue like here. Put wet glue on there. And depending on how much green you want showing on your green leaf, you can stick it down further, but I think it looks really pretty like this. Okay, then the other one is going to go about right here. There we go. Put it right there. And just have to hold that for a couple minutes since it's wet glue, and will take just a little bit of time to set up enough. And there you have your finished poinsettia. So pretty. Now these will be available in my Etsy shop probably in the next couple weeks. Then I will be having a anniversary sale starting in September to celebrate my 2-year anniversary on Etsy. I can't believe it will have been 2 years. So these will be available. I'll be having a sale, and I'll have the pink ones and the red ones, and I'm also going to have smaller packs of smaller poinsettias. Some will have glitter on them, pink, white, red. So if you're looking for any of these types of things, I will have some available. Also making some snowflakes, and I don't know what I'll have time for else. I have a couple of little mini junk journal scrapbooking kits for Christmas that I'll be posting also. I will make an announcement when my sale starts on YouTube and Instagram so that everybody knows. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.